Alrighty, YouTube, it's your boys, Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to try to make our Helm hit as hard as she possibly can. So, essentially, I'm going to build a team that's just constantly giving attack buffs, especially to her. Because if you guys don't know, she is one of the burst 2 DPSs in the games that are actually meant to do damage, but obviously she doesn't, right? The only other one who's actually meant, well, there's 3. Obviously her with all the final attack, like she does damage on every single skill, right? She's meant to be a DPS. Nihilist, there's another one. She also has the same where she has final attack on every skill, I believe. And then obviously Guilty is clearly meant to do damage because she's giving herself way too much of an attack buff, right? But we're going to basically be giving Helm as much attack as possible to see how high she can really hit with all this final attack. So I did end up getting her 555. That's the highest I'm going to get this character. Please do not go into comments and say she's going to be good if you fully overload her, sell your soul, sell your family, give blood up. No. No. I think she's an okay unit at best. I would say after testing on release, I wouldn't say she was that crazy. Testing her, right? She has her uses, right? If you want to run like a cooldown team, she's gonna be nice there. If you want to run her with electric bosses, you're gonna see that damage taken debuff there, right? But there's not much to this character. So in general, I wouldn't say she's that crazy, but she does have her uses, obviously. I think, do you need to have this type of character? Definitely not. But obviously, if you have this character, when electric bosses do roll around, she will have her uses. So, right, you can't pull her after her banner. So if that's really why you want to summon, then by all means. But we're going to be running this team right here. And this team is just like an attack buffing team towards her. So obviously when we use the burst skill from Litter is going to be giving us an attack buff to all allies. She's actually also going to give us more attack when we use the burst skill for the 3rd time, right? Even damage increase and max amp capacity is going to be nice. We have Privity where when we enter a full burst, all allies get an attack buff, right? So there's that. We have obviously Helm to do all the damage, right? 79%, 81%, and then 127%. We have Maxwell, who's also going to give us an attack buff when we enter a full burst. My Helm does have the highest attack, well, the 2nd highest. My Noir has the highest, 51,000. It's crazy. And then obviously Noir is just going to give us an attack buff regardless, right? So we should be fine with this team. Hopefully it works. If you guys are new, subscribe and like. I like building these random fun teams, right? This is definitely a team you're never going to use, but just to see how much you can really hit up to, right? Because it's not hard for her to actually run a team like this, right? Actually, on average, you might run a team like this, but you probably won't run Noir. You might run like another burst 3 who actually is meant to do damage, right? Like people actually run these types of teams, right? So she's hitting quite hard here too, right? I'm not gonna lie, she was hitting pretty decently here. 21. Wow, they dropped big time. So she was hitting 21k per hit. Okay, wow. Okay, now she was hitting 21k per hit. Right, and when we use her burst skill, she's going to be cooking, right? Look, 26, 30k per hit when she's hitting the core, 21 with crit there. Like, that's pretty good, right? But again, you're not gonna really run a team like this. Like, you're not gonna make a burst to your main DPS realistically. But it is nice to see, right? It is nice to see that she is able to, she's actually doing pretty good damage. Right? I wonder, I forgot her name. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm about to say, chat, bro. Let's be realistic, bro. When a character has final attack, you cannot tell me they're bad. They're not supposed to be bad, bro. So when it comes to a burst 2 character, they're not really going to do damage unless you really focus down on that final attack, right? And remember, final attack damage is including the buffs, it's including the overload gear, the effects on the overload gear, the cube stats, base stats, attraction stats, like all attack that this character can possibly get, final attack is including all of it. So literally, when you can see, right now, is she hitting hardest on this team? Yeah, but like she's hitting harder or on par with Noir. Not really. I mean, it's kind of a feat because Noir has like 11,000 more attack than her, and she's a burst 3. We're not using Noir's burst skill at all though, where we are using Helms, but it's funny to see her actually hit that high, right? Let's see. Will she end up hitting the hardest? Right. Again, I never recommend running a team like this, but 31k on them crits there is not bad, right? 19 million. See? Now this is what I'm saying, bro. If Helm was to hit 19 million as a burst 2 without all this, she would be very good. Because again, there's not many burst 2 characters who actually do damage, right? Her, Nihilister, and Guilty are the only 3 that are meant to actually do damage. So when Helm is hitting as hard as someone like Rupee, who is increasing her attack, okay, I would say Rupee's meant to do damage as well. I'll say Rupee's meant to do damage as well. But like if I didn't have to run all these characters and she was still hitting 19 million, I'd say that's pretty good, right? Like, let me try to build a team like this, right? So we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna put who's a burst? I'm gonna put Guillotine. No, I'm gonna put Alice. I'm gonna put Alice in here, right? Because my Alice has overload gear, and she does have what's it called? The highest attack out of all these characters. She should. Yeah, so these two will be getting the attack buff from like a team like this, for example. So let's see, you know, compared to Alice with a team like this where there's a lot of attack buffs going on, where she stands, right? I do think, again, she's, you know, she should be doing nice numbers, but I do think Helm is only ever going to perform well if you do give her that full investment. Is it worth it? I mean, if you want a burst 2 who can actually deal damage, Helm is probably going to be that character. Right, so if you do want to fully invest into Helm, it wouldn't hurt. Level 10 skills, overload gear, best effects and stuff. You know how it goes. But I think, let me see. So far, 4 million, 9 million. I mean, I hope we're not expecting her to hit as hard as Alice, right? But here, this is where she starts popping off, right? 25, 21, 17 million with a crit, 21 on core hits, 25 on core hits. And then when we non the full burst, like, it drops by more than 50%, obviously. But then this is where Alice pops off. 29k-ish, 30k-ish. That's when we have Litter's burst. If Litter's burst skill lasts for 10 seconds, she'd really be too broken. Right? But it's only 5 seconds. But yeah, I mean, never make a team around. I mean, like, this is not a team. I think this is a team people would actually use, right? They would replace, like, Alice with Scarlet or Modernia. This is teams people actually would run, right? For all the attack buffs under the sun. So, I'm not going to say it's a fake team. Right? Like, 15 million. Like, is what I expect, though. Half of Alice. I mean, yeah, I mean, I expect that, though. The thing is, if I put Modernia, she's not going to have the highest attack no more. Let's put Modernia. Let's put Modernia and see. Like, because now she's only getting an attack buff from Litter and Privity. That last one, she was getting it from Litter, Privity, and Maxwell. And before that, she was getting it from Litter, Privity, Maxwell, and Noir. Now, it's just 2 characters. So you can kind of see, obviously, the lower the attack buffs or the less attack buffs, the weaker she gets, right? But you can make her hit decently hard if you do fully invest into her, obviously. But it's really up to you. It wouldn't really be bad to fully invest into her, but I wouldn't recommend it like before other characters that you probably don't have fully invested, right? Like if you don't have Alice fully invested, and you have the option to either fully invest Helm or Alice, obviously pick Alice. Vice versa for Scarlet, vice versa for Modernia. Heck, even the Bunny Girls, right? There's a lot of characters, even Guilty, right? There's a lot of characters that, you know, you should probably max invest into before these types of characters. That's why I hate when people say Neon is good, just fully invest into her, right? As if, 1, people can just do that out of their ass, and 2, as if we're gonna invest Neon over all the other characters we own on our account. Like, let's be realistic, right? So, on this team, we hit over 100 million damage because of Modernia, right? 69 million to 13 million, right? To be fair, my Maxwell doesn't have gear, so her damage is kind of like fake here. Right, I have to take off her gear so that Helm is getting, excuse me, so that Helm is getting the a buff, but she's not getting it here. She's only getting for Privity and Litter. So if you are gonna run her, probably run her with, you know, characters who just buff up all allies rather than two like Maxwell. And there is that, right? But 18 million, not bad actually. 18 million from the buffs of just Litter and Privity, that's not bad actually. That's quite good for a verse 2 with low multipliers. That's quite good. 18 million. Quite good. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of good. That's kind of good. I don't expect her hitting 50, 30, 20 oh, 20 million, sure, but like not 50, 40, 30. I don't expect the Helm to hit that much, but 18 million with a team like this, where she's only getting an attack buff from 2 characters, and one of it is only 5 seconds. Not to mention it's only in a full burst. Not to mention Modernia is increasing the full burst time even more, so kind of just cucking her. It's quite good. Let me do that one more time, but with Anise now. So we're gonna try this team again with Anise. So she's still gonna get the attack buffs from only Litter and Privity when we enter a full burst, but let's run it with a character who is has 10 seconds, not 15, to see how much she can really get. But yeah, she's performing well when you actually give her characters with attack buffs, right? So if you are going to use Helm, since Helm really has nothing much to offer besides damage in general, right? I mean, the cooldown is there, of course, as well, but besides the cooldown, she has nothing else to really offer in general besides the damage, because the damage taken only works with electrical enemies. So yeah, but I think if you're gonna run Helm, probably run her with attack boosters, right? And it's obviously, again, a team like this is realistic, right? People do run teams like this. Well, maybe not Maxwell in the back like that. I mean, I've seen some, but Litter, Privity, and then like your main DPS, that's for sure a comp. And then you can slap Helm at the burst 2, that's fine. And then you just slap a back burst 3 unit who's supporting, right? In that case, could be Maxwell, could be Noir, it could be whoever you want. Or it could be another DPS, right? But yeah, there's no question. Like, this is not like an unrealistic comp, right? Are you going to run this comp? Most likely not. You probably have a way better team, but this team does work, obviously. Will it get you far in the game? Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know, in progression. I don't think it's going to get you far in progression, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. And it might just be me, but honestly, for progression, like chapter 22, 21, 23, 24, if you do not own the Bunny Girls, Modernia, Scarlet, or Alice, it's going to be very hard, or Anise, it's going to be very hard for you to progress in terms of like the damage you need, right? Because there's no characters hitting as hard as them, really, like alternatives, you know what I mean? So it's going to be really hard. Like, imagine someone going all the way to chapter 23, not owning the Bunny Girls, not owning Modernia, not owning Alice, not owning Scarlet, right? It's quite crazy, right? But let's see the damage here. 17 million. So it's just, it's lower. It's lower. But it's still not bad. 17 million from verse 2. With a team like this, which is actually like a realistic team, I'll take it. I think it's pretty okay. So you guys let me know what you think. I think Helm does pretty decently well with the damage. With an actual team that's buffing up her burst skill, or her burst skill, her first skill and her second skill, like the attacking part of her skills, or the damage dealt part of her skills. But yeah, okay, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of you know, maybe put her a bit higher for me in rankings, right? I was gonna do her tier list today. I'll probably do it later on today, but let me know in the comments what tier you guys would give Helm from S, 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 A, B, C, D, and subscribe and like. I'll see you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.